Hello Chipsters, it's Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. Yes, I'm back literally 24 hours after the last one. We just had a delivery from the post and there was a parcel. Now, I've got nothing left to come in and my wife's here and she hadn't got anything. And it was a gift from somebody. Now, it said from Santa. Thank you, Santa. I have a feeling I know who it's from, but I'm not going to say that person's name out on video because I might be wrong. But I am sending that person a Facebook message in the next few minutes. It's one of Gav's videos. It might take a bit longer before we finish the video, but you know, you'll get a message. I'll be very embarrassed if it's not you. Right. It is a Starling Models, and I'm not even sure, I might well put this on the thing so you know, you already know it in the title probably, but you never know, I don't know what I'm going to put yet. But Starling Models, 1 in 700 scale, County Class Guided Missile Destroyer HMS Glamorgan in her 1982 fit. Now I only just got through reading that, and that's with the larger font on the box. So let's put the magic readers on. Might actually see something. Oh, right. It's resin with a etched brass kit and 3D printed parts. Now, in coin of the realm, this retails around £75–80. I mean, they are not cheap, and that's not knocking Starling Models. I mean, there's a lot going on in this kit, and I've wanted one, and I just kept oohing and ahhing. And as you know, when Airfix released their vintage kit of HMS Devonshire, which is the leader class, I believe, and the sister ship to Glamorgan, one of the sister ships, I fully intend to turn her into HMS Antrim. Now, there were two county class destroyers that went south, and one was Glamorgan and one was Antrim. And Glamorgan, stop saying Gav, I hate that one's on videos. She took a land-based Exocet missile. The Argentinians had rigged up a jerry rig, more or less. You know, they used a flatbed, I believe, a flat. See again, Gav's head. I know all this stuff, but it's trying to drag it out of my head. I called a Sea Dart missile the other day on Bristol, a Sea Slug. I know it's a Sea Dart. What? You know, it's just head problems. Anyway, the Exocet, I believe, went through the hangar. She carries a Wessex helicopter, I should say, as well, which is one of the most convoluted ways of putting a helicopter in a hangar I've seen. And Glamorgan took some casualties. I'm not going to say what and numbers and stuff because I'll mess that up, and I don't want to do that to the ship's company. But yeah, they fired a land-based Exocet missile at her in the closing stages of the war. What else was I going to say to him? So yeah, I'm converting Antrim. I always think is the one that because of what happened to Glamorgan, she's mentioned more, but I like Antrim as well because she was at South Georgia to the surrender at South Georgia and stuff. So I intend to fully, well, I've got two, I can build both now, can't I? Brilliant. Yeah, I was going to do both with the convert both with, because Starling Models also do conversions, I believe, for the, because Gary's stuff, which I will leave a link to Gary's description, Gary's channel description. Not sleeping at the moment. So yeah, go check it. So you can convert Starling Models, make all the bits and pieces. You convert that one into, which I will do, into Antrim or Glamorgan, whichever one you want to do. I did see an excellent sea-based diorama of Glamorgan pumping out water and stuff, you know, after she'd been hit, and that was really well done. So to the person who sent me this, I can't thank you enough. I always say it. Let's just take these off because my glasses are glinting. Hang on. People, you know, I mean, people. Somebody spent this money, and it's more or less giving it to me, if that makes sense. I really do. I don't just, I can't get my words properly anyway, but I get overwhelmed by stuff like this because, you know, people contact me and say, hey Gav, would you like this? Or I've got something for you, Gav. And it's fantastic. As I say, you know, things aren't always easy, and people make it easier, if that makes sense. So thank you very much. It did say in the card, I didn't know you were in the Falklands. I do say on all my videos, I was 14 when the Falklands War went on, so I was in the Falklands, you know, doing garrison duty in the infantry, and I got to go over all the. Sometimes the army does actual tours for soldiers to the battlefields, but I was lucky enough on my own you get 4 days off in one little batch for your 4.5 months, whatever you're there, and I went around Goose because one I hadn't seen was Goose Green, so you're allowed to take a civilian Land Rover or whatever if you're on leave, and me and a couple of the lads went down to Goose Green, and we walked all that site. But as in the infantry, I also tabbed over West Falkland. Everywhere we more or less went, and I couldn't physically put my boots on the ground, we were flying over with helicopters, picking other patrols up and that, and you got to see so much. I mean, again, as I say, whether it's sea, air and land, yes, you crabs, I respect you as well. What am I saying? I wouldn't say that in public. No, joking aside. Crabs is the unofficial word for the Royal Air Force in the Army. They got a few for us as well, don't worry. They give as good as they get. Yeah, I've just always loved Royal Navy ships. As I was lucky enough to go on some Chatham Navy Day, and when I lived down there for a short while, and I went on a few. I went on the old HMS Blake. I think she was in her last couple of years. She might have even been alongside then, I'm not sure, as in decommissioned, but yeah, I went on the old Blake, which I will do if Airfix bring out Tiger. She's going to be HMS Blake at some stage. I can feel my wife's eyes rolling round her head in the other room. His stash goes back up again. But yeah, I thought we'd take a not so quick look, because I've done all this onto camera again. Oh, I forgot. It is fastly becoming a Royal Navy channel. I'm in the Army. What's going on? But I forgot to say, on Gary from Gary's Stuff channel, that's not, I mean, he's Gary's Stuff channel. On his channel, he does a Monday Matters where he tells us what's coming. You know, he scours the rumour mill and the press releases of the different model companies to see what's being brought out for that week. And a Chinese company has put out, I don't know if they're probably CAD drawings, I'm not very good, 3D renders, possibly, of a 1 in 350 scale Type 42 destroyer. Now, I've got to go back to Gary's video to check out if I'm wondering if it'll be a batch 1. The shorter, these ones went to the Falklands, and they're the shorter ones. They had quite short legs in fuel wise, which was a major problem, I suppose you could say. But they were made of all work, and they went on and on in the Royal Navy for a long time. But they were extended. So I think batch 2 and 3 were the lengthened ones. Now, as I say, when I build my Royal Navy ships, they are not Falklands War specific. I'm not targeting everything on the Falklands campaign. I've got Ark Royal in, it says a Gulf War fit from Revell. Now, I don't really know what makes that Gulf War fit. I didn't see anything particular on it. I think it was just a thing of, say it's Gulf War, first Gulf War. So whether I present her as a first Gulf War in a whatever. I can't really see what would particularly be different with her before, before and slightly after. I do know that they did move her deck, as I say, from they took the Sea Dart launchers off and they filled that area in so they could park more helicopters or whatever on there. But what I'm trying to say is I build my ships from the post-war Royal Navy. It could be, I mean, Starling Models do a beautiful HMS Amethyst, which is coming out. Go and check out HMS Amethyst, 1949, on the Yangtze River. It came out as a film called the Yangtze Incident. Chinese communists more or less bombarded the Amethyst, which was a little corvette, into having to stop. And it just shows land-based guns can make a hell of a mess of ships when they're up a river. Anyway, go check out Yangtze Incident, HMS Amethyst. The crew deserve that. And that's 49. So, but I do prefer the ships from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s into up to now. But to all those, and there is at least 2 Matlows that follow the channel. Maybe not the Napoleonics or the other stuff, but they do follow the ships. So we've got, and I'm going to buy 2 of them. I don't care the expense. I'm buying 2 of them Type 42s. When they come, I ain't got no room for them. That's why I do the 1-in-700s mainly. Yes, I'm going to be making HMS Plymouth scratch built in 1/350 scale, but that's more because I just really fancy to go. But I don't have a lot of room for the 1/350s. I don't have any room for them, but I've got to do 2 Type 42s. I'll do 102 Type 42s. So yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, if they ever get released and if we can get them over here. I have asked Gary to, obviously with my head problems and my memory goes in and out, I'll forget. Next month I'll say who's bringing the Type 42 out. But hopefully he said he'd remind me because he fancies getting one himself. Right, there we go. I just popped into my head and I just thought I better tell anybody that's interested, whether you want to get one yourself of them 42s when they come out, or you're ex-Matlow that was serving on 42s and you want to see one on the channel. It'll come at some stage if they ever release them. So, but for now you're going to have to put up with a HMS Plymouth, a Rothsey class frigate, and I'm not sure what fit I'm going to be doing her in yet, whether she's in a Falklands War fit or I mean, she was 58, I believe. The Plymouth was 1958. She was laid down. But I might do I don't know if she was in the Cod Wars, but Cod Wars, I don't mind. As I say, I just enjoy doing them. It's just that the Falklands was the time that yes, they went to war in the Gulf War and all the rest of it, but it was the time when the Royal Navy was really called upon, apart from countering the Soviets in the Cold War. They stepped up to the plate, and I think we should all be very proud of them. So yeah, anyway, let's go down and have a quick look at HMS Glamorgan. I'm not saying it's going to be an in-depth unboxing. I'm rambling, but I just wanted to thank that person on video without actually naming them, because as I say, when I contact this person, it might be them. Yes, I think it might be you. You know what I'm talking about. But it might not. So let's go and take a look at Starling Models. Starling Models are a UK company, by the way. Obviously this has been sent to me, so I've got not by Starling Models. They don't know I exist. And they wouldn't put their name to one of Gav's videos for a start. but Starling Models are a UK company. Just a small, I don't know how small, maybe 1-in-700 small, but they do a lot of 3D printing, photo etch. They sell other people's kits as well at that scale. But for all the guys that are into 1-in-350, check out Starling Models, because they also do a lot of aftermarket for your ship's scale as well. Although Starling Models is known mainly for 1-700s, they do all the Beauforts and the, I don't know, but anything in that scale they do as well. Also check out Atlantic Models. I always give Atlantic Models a shout out because I've always been I've never actually got anything from Starling, but I have got stuff from Peter at Atlantic Models, who does 1 in 350 scale, and I've always been impressed with the service in that. And again, that's just, I'd say, a one-man band, but you know, then these aren't Tamiya people, so cut them a bit of slack, but they're just for the turnaround and stuff like that, because they're not massive operations, Starling and Atlantic, but they are people who've got a passion for I think when people have got a passion for what they do, it shows in the product. So yeah, and MT Miniatures as well. Go check them out for their full resin ships. So you'll be seeing HMS Bristol coming up in the next few weeks. So let's go down and take a look. Right guys, I don't know how this will work. As I say, it's not going to be in-depth. I'm going to keep things in bags because they are tiny parts and I don't want them all falling out. So this is the instructions. I'm sorry I haven't got the big tripod. I wasn't expecting to be receiving this, but this is roughly what you get, but in tiny versions. There's our Wessex. I flew a lot in those in Northern Ireland and in Hong Kong. Photo etch included. I mean, this really is a comprehensive. I've seen these online, the actual, because I follow Starling, and I was always impressed how comprehensive and how well thought out the actual instructions were. The radar mast is going to be fun. I mean, these carried the sea slug, and obviously by the big big radar that you can see there, and that's a sea slug there, and it was designed to shoot down long range aircraft that were flying high up rather than low level. I swore they fired 1 or 2. I'm not saying, I'm not sure who fired. I believe maybe even Glamorgan may have fired at the Exocet that was inbound to try and deflect, literally just to try and deflect it off its course. I might be wrong. I don't think Sea Slug was actually fired in anger, in the sense of they were actually tracking on something and then launched for it. I might be wrong. I always think though, couldn't the Navy come up with a Sea Slug? I mean, that's like going, you know, I've never had that in a bag of chips. You know what I mean? It's like, I'll have a bag of chips and a Sea Slug, please, deep fried. Couldn't we call it like Sea Talon or something? You know. Have you ever seen a Sea Slug? I mean, they're very slow, and you know. There's the ship in all her glory. We've got our Sea-Cat missile system as well. They got some 20. I did just catch my eye some 20mm Orlican, and when you see what I've put on, although I've got to say that at least Avenger is more or less a 600 650 scale. But there's our main hull. Got the wooden planking because these still had wooden planking. We've got some photo etch brass, which I'll take it for the masts. Either that or it's a very long gun barrel. I take it that the person that had these, I think these LCUs, a landing craft utility, a landing craft, no, I don't know, vehicle personnel, I have no idea, but I think these were actually helping her out when she was hit, I believe. So that's probably why the gentleman's put them in there. Funnel, again extremely detailed nice and thin on the the things. And then we've got a whole bag of small parts. The only thing I would say is these parts are so tiny. If I was Starling, I would have put them in separate bags, and because they're so easy to knock off. I can't see anything particularly. Oh no, we've got a couple of bits down there floating around. I don't like to see that, because you don't know what's been damaged when it comes off the pouring plug. So I would have liked to have seen them probably better, you know, better looked after. There's our gun turret with the two 4.5 inch guns. I'm not even sure what's in there. It's taped down, so I'm not going to open it yet, because it's going to be, I want to get Bristol out of the way first. Sea slug, I would imagine, in there. Look at those 20 mils. Now they are put in separate ones. You'll have some fun taking those off the like Corvus launchers at the back there. Yeah, we're going to have some fun taking those off and getting them on. Oh, steady hand required. Is there anything else? We've seen that, haven't we? That's a sea slug actually falling out the packet. There you go. There's a sea slug. Good luck, Gav, getting that off the print bed. Let's make sure that it goes up. Sort that out properly afterwards. And I believe I did see the Wessex. I think that's a Wessex somewhere in there. So just see the Wessex. I'm not good, as I say, these are such small parts. You can see how fragile that's opened up again. You can see how fragile the Sea Slug launcher is, so I'm not going to start opening bits up. We'll have them all over the shop. Basic decals, because there's not a lot that's needed. Obviously flight deck, pennant numbers, and then again I won't open this up, but you can see we've got our photo etch. Interesting to see what I've never used their photo etch before. So I did find the Flyhawk one extremely soft, which isn't that much of a problem when you're doing other parts of the ship, but the railings particularly were a nightmare, because you'd only literally got to, you had about 2 chances of getting them down, and even then when they were on the ship you'd only got to put your finger or tweezers anywhere near a piece you'd already glued on, and they were either snapping off or just bending ready to snap. So I think what I'm doing, I'm going to try it on Bristol. I'm going to actually use quick acting PVA, like the 10-minute stuff I use for everything else. I'm going to attempt to put that on, maybe just a couple of dabs of super glue on, what, you know, the end and the middle type of thing of railings, and then use the other stuff, because I get blooming CA glue everywhere, and it's horrendous, because it really knocks the spots off the metal. You know, when you I just know what's going to happen when I finally get some primer on Avenger tomorrow. I just know what's going to happen. She's going to be covered in glue marks, and it'll show up through the paint. But again, there's not much I can do now. So there you go. So to the kind person that sent me this 1 in 700 scale HMS Glamorgan, I can't thank you enough. It's just, you know, you're just starting your day and this arrives, and it's just like, wow. Just can't believe it. So thank you very, very much. As you can see, the 1 in 700s, I mean, the counties were fair old size for destroyers, and they don't take a lot of room up the 1700s compared to obviously the larger ones, 1 in 350s and that. So if you are, you know, if you're stuck for room, these are ideal. So thank you very much. I'll just keep waffling on, and and derailing it even more. Should we just have a quick look at these landing craft utilities? Maybe not. No, let's leave them for now because I'm just gonna. They're going to be fragile. So yeah, go check Starling Models out. Well worth a look. It might be something you might be interested in. As I say, they bring out all those ships that are probably not going to see the light of day. Then again, I didn't expect a company to bring out the 1 in 350 Type 42 destroyers, but these are even more niche. You know, I mean, yes, I know Airfix have brought out a county class destroyer, but it was brought out when literally Devonshire were, Devonshire in it, was actually made in the 60s. You know, and Airfix have always predominantly done a lot of which should be, you know, a lot of British stuff. They're a British company. So yeah, will be interesting to see. As I was saying to Gary, Airfix obviously do their normal January time releases to see for the year, and then obviously, as they've proven with the Gannet, throwing a couple of surprises as well. But they will often re-release their vintage kits, and I'm really hoping they do re-release the Type 21 and the Type the Leander class destroyer, because we can get away with converting those as well, along with everything else. But the thing is, they'll stop doing them as quick as I really need to get HMS Fearless before they stop making her, because I'm going to be I would like Fearless in my collection, and I'll probably end up doing her as Intrepid, but yeah, I need to get that one. So I'd get Victorious, but I'm not sure. If I got Victorious, I'd be trying to heavily convert her into Hermes, and that's a big undertaking. But Victorious is another post. Well, they were all like end of the war, more or less, aircraft carriers and stuff. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, thanks if you stuck this one out. As I say, I know ships aren't it's not a lot of people's thing. I get that, but as I say, I just enjoy. I really do enjoy them. Other nations as well, as I say, but I do really like to replicate the Royal Navy ships of the post-war era, because again, the Royal Navy, like all the other navies in NATO, were out there constantly defending us from the Soviets back in the Cold War days, and they didn't get a lot of recognition for it. And you know, I like to see them given that bit of recognition through kits. So look after yourselves, and we will speak soon on. Well, there's going to be another model unboxing because I need to get going on Marcus and Joachim's group build. So that was what's planned tomorrow, was going to be an unboxing of the wheeled vehicle I've got for the group build, but I'll probably give it another day or so now, just to give you a break from the videos. So thank you very much, and we'll catch each other soon on another video.